We are going live. What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome in. Welcome in. I am going to show you all today my favorite, of course, besides School Psych AI, my favorite AI tool as of today in this moment. And look, we know this technology is changing every single day. It's growing fast. It's rapidly evolving. And sometimes it's hard to stay up with all the changes and everything. That's why I say, as of today, in this moment, and I randomly found a new tool which I actually really like. I might talk about that one a little bit later, but for today, I'm going to talk about Notebook LM. I posted a video yesterday. If you are on the School Psych AI YouTube channel, you could just click. It's the most recent video. I did a video on Notebook LM. Shout out to Amber. Amber tagged me in a message in the Say No School Psych Ever group. Shout out to that group. Make sure you're following them. If you are not, go follow them now. And it was someone, I think, Brenna, and she was asking about Notebook LM. And I had just talked to Amber and another colleague about it, and I shared Notebook LM. Besides School Psych AI, of course, I'm biased. It's hands down my favorite, and I don't say this lightly. I think it's one of the best, if not the best, AI platform that's out there. I use all of them, and I'm talking Chat GPT through OpenAI. I use Claude through Anthropic. I use what else do I use? I use Gemini. Um, Low key Gemini is up there as well. They've done some really cool things, but nonetheless, Notebook LM in this moment is one of my absolute favorites. So what I want to do today, I am going to walk you all through how to create podcasts using Notebook LM. And what we're going to do, we're going to walk through from start to finish, like every single aspect in real time. And so if you're watching in real time, let me know, say what's up inside the chat. Let me know if you're in the Facebook group and the YouTube group. Let me know where you're watching from. If you got questions, if there's things that you want to see, let me know. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it and tell a friend as well. But I'm going to show you all my favorite tool, and there's some really cool things that you could do in there as well. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to pull up my screen and I am going to walk you through how to get started, start to finish, and in everything that we do. Okay, so I'm going to share this right here. I'm going to pull it up. And I'm actually going to share that entire screen so you all can see. Okay, if you don't have an account, it's really easy to get started. Just go to whatever your Google account is. If you're using your personal one, if you're using your school one, again, make sure you watch the video that we just posted, the most recent School Psych AI video. We talk about the privacy. Make sure that you're reading the terms of privacy. You got to make sure you're following those. But whatever account you're under, you just create that, use it to sign in. Google makes it super, super easy. And you're at notebooklm.google.com. And once you're here, you have all your different notebooks that you can create. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new notebook here. And if you remember from the past video, we showed you that you can add your sources here. And you can add up to 300 sources. It could be PDFs, it can be Google Docs, Google Slides, website links, YouTube links, or even text that you just paste directly inside of there. And so what we're going to do, I actually created a folder and we're going to upload some of those sources as well. So I think I have it here on my desktop and I have two screens set up. So I'm going to have to drag and drop. All right. And then let me move that over here so I can see. Come back over here. And as I'm doing this, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you're in the chat. If you're in the chat, let me know if you use Notebook LM, if you've heard of it before. If not, say that, nope, you've never heard of it. But let me know where, if you're here with me in the chat. Okay, so what we're gonna do, you can see I have several different I have several different articles here. And what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna do this one by one. I'm sure you don't have to, but I'm going to do it one by one. And I already saved some different sources. But what I want to do, I want to create podcasts for each one of these sources. And so if we go back to sources, you can see we have this one here. In fact, I know what we could do. We could upload all of them and I have them labeled, and then we could just hide each one. In fact, that might be more efficient. So I'm actually going to come back and then let's select all of the sources here. Let's see if I could drag and drop. I might have to do add source. Yeah, I need to add the source in. Okay, now let's do that again. Boom. Now we have all those sources. And then I'm going to add another one here too. Mm, Here, I'm going to label these because I have all of these. And I was going to do this is the NAS membership survey. So we're going to call that NMS. And that way, when I come back to upload all of these, you'll see that now they're easy for me to sort by and categorize. As we go through it, it'll make sense what I am doing. And this is helpful to kind of see, and you can learn in real time and organize it based on what you think might be best for you. But you can upload all these sources at once. And so now I'm going to grab all of those and just put those in. JK, add source. Now we're going to drag and drop and put them all in. Boom. There we go. Okay. So now I am going to do. Can I thought I could deselect. Select all sources. No, don't want to do that. So I deselect all those sources. And now we're just going to deal with this first one. Okay. So you can see I have them all labeled 1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then all the NMS. And those are the NAS membership surveys that we have. And so actually we're going to start with this was supposed to be 0. Click that. Okay. So now we have the one source selected. Now that we have the one source selected, I'm going to come over here. It says 12 sources, but it's going to pull because I only have the one. It's going to make sure that I only chat against this one right here, which is awesome. Okay. And now this is giving us, I clicked it, an overview of that article, which is really cool as well. All right, boom. uh, Make sure that you go back, watch that other video that we posted yesterday, because it gives you the detailed walkthrough. So I'm assuming that you have watched that video and I don't need to break it down, but just a quick TLDR. If you come in, this is where you chat. You can have a conversation just like you're doing chat GPT, Gemini, whatever, school psych AI with Sophia. You can ask questions here. But what we're going to do, we're going to go over to Studio. And what we want to do is to create a podcast episode. And then we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to click generate, and it's going to take a few minutes. We're going to let it do its thing. And it takes about anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes to generate the podcast. And so, what we're going to do in the meantime, I'm actually going to see if we can create just some other notes as we go through. Before we do that, the purpose of this video, I want to show you how quick and easy it is to actually create a podcast using Notebook LM. Then, once we actually create the podcast using Notebook LM, I'm going to go into YouTube and we're going to create a playlist inside of our YouTube so that you'll be able to access all the podcasts and everything. You'll be able to see just how quick and easy that is. And then what I'll do, I will share that playlist across all the School Psych AI social medias so that you could get access to those things too. Okay, so while that's generating, if you go down here underneath notes, you can see that there's several things that you can do. And these are just like guided prompts. It could give you a study guide. It could give you a briefing doc. It can give you a timeline. It could give you a FAQ, which is frequently asked questions. So what I want to do, let's imagine that we have our, you're a graduate student, you're in school, and you've uploaded some resources and you click that button study guide. So now what's happening it is taking just a few minutes and it's actually generating, based off of the one source that we have selected, is generating that study guide in real time. And then it gives us that note. Then you just click that and it takes us to this study guide, which is pretty cool. Let's take a look and see what we have. So, school psychology, a comprehensive review. It gives us a quiz right away. What are the primary roles of a school psychologist? School psychologists apply expertise in mental health, learning, and behavior. Oh man, this is like a new way to study right here. Uh, I'm curious. Let me know if there's any professors, any students. I want to know what this might mean for you if you're a professor. What does this mean for you if you're a student and how you study? Because now, if you're a student, you have a study guide here. You can just say, hey, these are the questions, and then just review the answers. And like we talked about in the video yesterday, what's really, really neat about this, if we were to hit this convert to a source, it goes to a source and we come back to the chat and we chat against it, we'll be able to see those sources in real time, which I think is really, really neat as well. This gives us, let's see how many questions. Oh, cool. So it gave us 10 questions, and then the answer key is down here. Well, that kind of looked like the answer right there, but okay. School psychs, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it's doing. But that's still pretty cool. Ooh, and then it gives us essay questions as well. It gives us a glossary of key terms. Now, how cool is that? You could print that out and then you have that study guide. All right, let's check in to see. Okay, this is still generating, it's still taking a few minutes. We'll give that a few more minutes. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the chat, and because we have this document inside of here, we're going to just ask it some questions. What I like about Notebook LM, it gives you some prompts here that you could use. As an example, compare and contrast the career options available to graduates with master's, specialist, and doc degrees in school psychology. So let's click it. So we clicked it, and right now, what it's going to do is going to compare and contrast based off of that source that we selected. What's up if you're joining? Let me know where you're joining from. Say hey in the chat. Right now, we're going through Notebook LM. Look, I had to drop it. I had to say this is my favorite, one of my favorites. Of course, I'm biased, of course, next to School Psych AI, but this is my favorite AI platform that's out there. Yeah, above Chat GPT, Claude, all those other ones. And here's a big reason why. So we uploaded our sources and then we asked some questions against it. And now the question we can see, we're looking at career options in school psychology. It varies based on the degrees, and then it gives us a comparison of those options. Now we see master's level career options are limited to none. Well, if we click that, it pulls and comes directly to this source right here. Hmm, I wonder if it's saying because it's specialist level. Okay, there we go. The specialist level is considered the entry level degree. See, we will have to fact check that, right? Graduates with the master's degree are not eligible. But if we click that, then it takes us directly to the source here, right? And this is coming directly from the document. What's great is it's not hallucinating. Like if you were to ask ChatGPT, "Hey, give me a reference," those models they love to please, so they're gonna give you a reference because you asked it, but it doesn't mean it's gonna give you the right one. And because it won't necessarily give you the right one, it's gonna make it up, which isn't a good look. If you're doing research, if you're doing assessments, whatever, you want to make sure that it's as accurate as possible. So before we keep going on, we're going to check back in the studio. Boom. Wow. And we see that took, we'll check the timestamps. That took a few minutes, but it gives us in real time a podcast. And so you should be able to hear. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and click play. It's so much more than that. And what's I just think remarkable about Notebook LM, not only did it create a podcast, but it created a podcast from the perspective of two different people having a conversation about the source that we gave it. And it is very conversational. If I didn't tell you it was an AI generated podcast, like you might not know otherwise. But that's not it. Okay. I want you to see this new feature. It's called interactive mode. Okay. And not only can we listen to a podcast and create the podcast, but watch this. Yeah, I'm curious. Can you tell me why I should, as a black male, be interested in a career in school psychology? y- you're watching it here. Like we are doing this in real time. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know. Drop something in the chat. If you're on Facebook, say hey. But we just created a podcast in real time using Notebook LM. Not only did we create a podcast in real time, I joined in that podcast in real time and asked them a pretty tough question, and I felt like I'm having a conversation amongst friends. And then what you can do from here, you can actually, if it's private, you see it's default set to private, but then we can make this public access to where you can copy a share link just by clicking that. Now it's been copied, or you can preview it right here. It's redirecting. I'm not sure where this is going to redirect me to. It's sending you back to the audio. I guess I could just click that, and now it's giving me this podcast audio page that's loading up. I will come back to that in a few seconds. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right, and now we could still copy that share link. That share link. That's pretty neat. You could change the playback speed, or if you want to download, you could download from here or inside of Notebook LM. You click that button and you could download the audio overview as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and create a folder, audio, and this is for the audio. And we're going to label this number one and save that. Now we have our podcast. The next steps of what I would do, I would go to Canva, I would create a thumbnail, and then I would go to ChatGPT or what your preferred platform, and then create a description title for YouTube. Make sure that it's SEO optimized and upload to the YouTube channel. So what I'm gonna do for the sake of time, I am going to create a YouTube playlist. I'll share that YouTube playlist, and then you'll be able to access all the podcasts that we will create. Um, this is this is the future, and it's here now. The fact that this video is 19 minutes and 40 seconds now, you can go in, create a podcast that is exceptional, and then you can join that podcast, y'all. Let me know what podcast you will create. I'm very interested to know, you know, how you will use this. I'm curious to know, how do you think this will influence the field of school psychology? How will this influence education? Is this something that you will use? I'm curious. Let me know. Make sure that you follow School Psych AI across all social media platforms. Let's engage in the conversation, y'all. Until next time, take care, everyone.